Hello, everyone. How are you doing? And welcome to another episode of the Dr. Will Show, where we have the discussions that inform, entertain, and empower educators to be the change. I am your host, Dr. Will, and I am here today with Mandy Froehlich. Is that how you say it?
Yep, Froehlich, very close.
Froehlich. Okay, Froehlich. I'm always, because my last name, people look at it and they butcher it all the time. So I want to have this discussion, and we were going to be talking about going digital with Canvas, because as you know, a lot of schools across the nation are going one-to-one, they are going BYOD, and they are opting for to use a learning management system as part of their blended learning plan. Mm-hmm. And so I've had experiences with Canvas. And I just wanted to bring in someone who really works with Canvas on a day-to-day basis to come in and talk about their experiences with it. And then since your job also involves PD, I say, hey, I'm getting it all right here. So for those who are watching the show, will you please introduce yourself?
Sure. So again, my name is Mandy Froehlich, and I am the Director of Innovation and Technology for a small district in Wisconsin called Ripon. And I've been in this role for about a year. I'm going into my second year. Previous to this, I was a technology integrator for a few years in the Oshkosh Area School District, which is close to us. And I also am heavily involved in a local ed camp that we do, which is really, I really love. That's one of my favorite things that I do. And I'm a Google trainer, and I'm also something called a Canvassador, which is a Canvas ambassador. So I talk about Canvas quite a bit and work with them on the side to talk about their product and let people about it. So
awesome. So as you mentioned, you are the Director of Innovation and Technology for your school district. What made your district select Canvas over Schoology, Blackboard, or even Google Classroom?
Well, I was not part of the decision to select Canvas for this particular school district. I was just lucky enough to walk in, and it was actually the LMS that they had purchased for implementation the year I started. I was, however, part of the process through my previous school district who also had Canvas. And the way that we decided on Canvas is we had an actual rubric that we had the vendors come in, we filled out the rubric depending on what we were looking for and what they were offering us. And we were expecting to go with a different company the entire way. We really felt like at first it was a little bit of a formality. We thought we were kind of sold on one product. And when we compared what the vendors were showing us and what we experienced when we went through some of the instances of the products, that Canvas just really fit us better. And what really sold us on it was the way that the gradebook operates and the functionality of some of the gradebook features. And so when I came to Ripon and they just said to me, we already purchased our LMS, we're implementing it this year. I literally closed my eyes and I said, oh, which one did you purchase? And they said Canvas. And so I was excited about that because I am a huge fan of the way that Canvas operates. So that was kind of how that was chosen. Not by my choosing, but just by luck.
So what is the learning curve for teachers in implementing Canvas into their classroom? What is your onboarding process for teaching teachers how to use Canvas?
So it's been really interesting in the way that I have had two different experiences with implementation. I've had it in my previous district and now in this one. And in both districts, we did not mandate the use of the LMS. So we did not say to teachers, you must use it, because in both districts, we felt that we would prefer to have teacher buy-in and have teachers love the product and use it with fidelity than to just push it on them and have them use it kind of with, at the lowest common denominator that they possibly can, just basically making digital worksheets online. We wanted to try to stay away from that. So we did not mandate it in both districts, and that is the best that was the best decision for us. In my previous district, we were fortunate enough to have 9 tech integrators across a medium-sized district with about 10,000 students. And that embedded support made all of the difference in the implementation, because we were not only able to support each other in creating professional development for the teachers, both on Canvas and in Canvas, but we were also able to follow up with teachers in their classrooms in real time to try to get them that support that they needed. So for me, the embedded support that we had in my previous district made a huge difference in the implementation. I don't have that kind of support in the district that I'm in. So what we really have been trying to do is we created a level 1 course for Canvas that was not only the basics of Canvas, but also how to create, like solid instruction within an online platform. So not just saying you push this button to embed a video, but also saying it should follow an instructional model. Here's how you create or embed images that will not only break up text, but give people more information. And so we made sure that good online instruction was also included in those modules, along with the technical know-how of Canvas. So that's one thing we've done. We've sent out Canvas has very short videos that they've created on very succinct videos created on specific things that people might want to do in Canvas. And so we make sure that we're sending those out when something that our teachers would be interested in, when those come out and they can view those. And we've done as needed PD, not as much as we would like. And but we have technology mentors here who are basically stipend teachers, and they don't have the time to do the actual embedded professional development. They can't get into classrooms. So they've adopted Canvas and they love it, and they're trying their best to teach teachers how to use it and things like that. But honestly, that embedded professional development that I had in my last district made all the difference for implementation. So we're trying to get more of the like in class, how can we help you actually build your course and go through things like that with teachers instead of just providing them with videos and things like that. That's what we're trying to do going forward.
Okay, so now I want to talk about the mental shift. And I've asked this question of everyone who's been on my show, simply because in my district, that has been something that, we've had to deal with as well. Of I've been teaching this way for 5, 10, 15 years. I'm at the board. Everything comes through me. Worksheets. Everything is sort of lecture and paper driven. And odd thing about this is we have teachers who are coming in fresh out of school who have been trained to teach the same way. Mm-hmm. And so now when you say, okay, every student has a device, and here's our learning management system, and we want to now implement blended learning. Some teachers, they freak out. Mm-hmm. Some teachers feel that they're losing control because they like the control. Some mm-hmm. teachers feel as though, hey, I got some kids over here. Look, I can't turn my back on those kids. So I definitely can't, just let them sort of be by themselves and do this work. What has been the work like in working with teachers to work through that mental shift needed to fully embrace the digital learning environment?
Sure. Well, I think that there are kind of 2 issues that go along with this. The first is that there is this strange belief, I think it's strange, that online learning is easier. And I've run into this several times in discussing, when I discuss my master's degrees, actually, because I have two. Both of them were done almost entirely online. And there have been points in my career where people have looked at my master's degrees as not as valid because they were online learning, when in fact, the same thing happened in online learning, or with my online classes, that happened in normal college classes. I had some teachers who rocked it, and I had some teachers who weren't very good. You know, it didn't make a difference whether it was face-to-face or online. And so instruction, no matter where it's placed, if you have good instruction in the classroom, you know, that's like you're working towards good instruction online, you're working towards that as well. And taking bad instruction and putting it online is still going to make it bad. It's not going to make it good. So we've had kind of some of those kinds of conversations, like, what does instruction look like? And when you take it and you put it online, what does good instruction still look like? So making those mental shifts from online instruction is not necessarily easier. It's different. It still needs to be good instruction no matter where you put it. And then what that good instruction online looks like. So we've been working on just kind of some of those mindsets, because the mindset around online instruction is typically that it's kind of a cop-out. It feels it's an easier way to get kids to learn, just to let them do whatever they want. So we've been working on that. The other thing is that, like you said, people feel like they can't, leave their kids alone in working online. And what we've found is, like, we've had one teacher who's kind of piloting this blended learning, where a few days a week he's with a student's whole group, and then a few days out of the week he lets them go do their work. Their work is online in Canvas. Anything that they need is there, and then he will pull small groups and work with those kids, depending on what they need, regardless of if they're the high flyers or the kids who need additional support. And he's able to actually find the time to work with those kids, because kids can work a little bit more at their own pace, on their own, that they're facilitating their own discussions based on what's, the assignments that are given to them in Canvas. So it really gives him more time to work with those kids that they feel like they can't leave alone, because he's able to pull those small groups. So, I hope that makes sense. I really think that it's a mindset issue. So working through knowing that it's really about good instruction, not necessarily where the instruction is presented, and that the blended learning approach gives you more time to work with your kids, not that you're just letting them go do whatever they want. So working on those two concepts, I guess, with the teachers.
So speaking of blended learning, how are your teachers using Canvas as part of their blended learning classroom? Are there features in Canvas that allow teachers to collaborate with each other?
Yeah, well, I think that, like I said, that one class that we just piloted, or that we're piloting, it's really going well. Of course, whenever you kind of field test anything, you find out your challenges, and when the content needs to be a little bit in order to make it more engaging or something like that. That just like in the classroom, there's times where the kids start to disengage depending on the time of year, and what can we do to combat that. So, we're working through those, but for the most part, it really went well. I think that in speaking with the teacher, he felt like he was able to work more one-on-one with students or in small groups than he's ever been able to in the past. And so we're going to continue those types of experiences. As far as Canvas itself, it is fully integrated with Google. So of course you have all of those types of collaborative activities. And then also teachers can be added to classes, so that more than one teacher can be within a class, so they can continue to build classes and collaborate on those as well.
Awesome. So we have adopted Schoology. So I'm all in on Schoology.
Yeah.
Within our district. And like I said, our CTE teachers use Canvas because of the relationship with RCU in Mississippi State. And I played around with it. I have an account, a username and all that. Okay, so I'm not making a commercial for Schoology. Okay, so one of the aspects of Schoology our teachers like is the ability to integrate a number of applications in the Schoology.
Mm-hmm.
What are other applications that integrate with Canvas?
So there's a whole sort of database that's been curated of applications that will integrate. So like some examples where there's like a 3D game lab. There's some like history databases where you can go in and there's different resources on history depending on the time period that can be integrated directly in there. Google, of course. There's a few different like micro-credentialing badging systems that can be put in there. There's like Minecraft EDU, Discovery Ad, Learning.com, Nearpod, Quizlet, Twitter. So a huge majority of them are free, but there are some that anything that you would typically pay for outside of Canvas, you're going to obviously pay for inside. Paying for Canvas doesn't give you that for free. There's also the ability to embed things. So for example, I can create a thing link and I can embed that thing link right into a page in Canvas. I can embed all my YouTube videos, you know, anything that is embeddable can be put right onto a page so the kids aren't ever leaving Canvas to go watch a video or do something else. So we have both like the embeddedness of things, I guess you can say, into the pages. Things like Canva and Padlet, those things can all be embedded, and then also the apps that are fully integrated within Canvas as well.
Cool. So now every student has access to a laptop, you know, and some one-to-ones, they have iPads, and some be BYOD programs, kids are using their smartphones. Is there an app for Canva?
Yeah, for Canvas, there's a student app. There's also there's the typical Canvas app, and then there's also a parent app as well. So parents can access their kids' Canvas class on there, see their grade book, things like that. So there's a fully functional app for Canvas, and you know, as with anything, I feel the web-based version is better. I don't think the app is as good, but it's just not as user-friendly maybe when you're creating things as a teacher or something like that. But it is there to use, and it can be used if need be.
Awesome, awesome. So I want to get to this, kind of revisit this onboarding PD thing with the online courses, right? Mm-hmm. So we have designed some courses ourselves and modules and put them in. Mm-hmm. Some teachers have really taken to it, and some have not. And what I like about it is if I can let you go through the online module and you learn how to push this button, how to push that button, and get some ideas for how to design a lesson. Mm-hmm. When I come see you face to face, we don't need to touch those buttons at all. You know, I mean, if I have 45 minutes with you, I don't need to spend that time in that. We can strictly focus on how can this be leveraged to improve student outcomes. Mm-hmm. Being that you don't have, I guess, the instructional technologist that you would like, and that Canva is pretty much your tool, your for delivering that sort of PD. I guess, what is your strategy for delivering PD, and how successful has it been, or how receptive have teachers been in actually receiving PD that way?
Well, I think just like kids, teachers have different learning styles. And I've found that there are some people that need somebody sitting there or explaining it, you know, and listening to you. Even if you've created instructional videos, they still need you explaining it so that they can ask questions as they go. And I think that's totally fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The online PD that we've had, we try to do a few different things. We try to make sure that there are both instructional videos and like printable instructions on most things. We make sure that there are integration ideas and techniques that they can use. There's always some sort of collaborative discussion board that they can access and bounce ideas off from each other. There's always an assessment for them to do to see if they actually met the goals that are listed in the module. And all of that is also personalized as much as we can make it. So for example, the discussion board has several different questions that if they want to answer, that they can answer those and then start a discussion. The assessments are leveled, that they choose which one works best for them, so that when we have people, the best example I can give is for Google, when you have people across the board on Google in what they can and can't do. And so when you have your high flyers taking that online PD, they are able to do the assessment that challenges them. And when you have the people who are just struggling to figure out what to click, do an assessment that works for them. Everybody's getting the same amount of information. Everybody can go back and oh yeah, I remember I watched that video about something. I can find it here, but they can do it at their own level and choose what works for them. So we try to make it as engaging as possible that way, that they are talking to other people, that they are needing to complete something to show that they did, they did learn something throughout the module and that they did meet the goals. And so it seems to be a pretty, like giving people those choice, like with anything, like with personalizing any kind of learning, is going to be more engaging than telling them, you must do this or you must do that. And then they're either finding it way too easy or they're struggling to get through it. So that's one way that we've kind of upped the engagement in our PD. We have teachers who, and it's not just us, everybody has teachers who are the very busy people. We have an insane amount of meetings scheduled for after school. We're not able to get the professional development in that we want, and the teachers still want to learn. So the ones that can learn online are willing to do the courses because it's never been offered to them before, and they know that they're going to learn something on their own time, sitting on their couch, with their favorite TV show on the TV or watching their kids, and they can still do it and get it done when they were busy after school and the PD might have been offered face-to-face. So, it's lots of teachers like it, but it's not for everybody, and that's totally okay. And we've tried to do the best that we can to engage as many teachers in it as possible.
Awesome. So before we go, what is your advice to school districts who are seeking to adopt an LMS for their plan for going digital?
I'd have a couple. So the first is create a rubric based on what you're really, really looking for. If you are looking at an LMS, and I love Canvas. I love Canvas for us. Is Canvas for everybody? It's depending on what you're looking for. So, create a rubric based on what you're really looking for, what you really, really want, what are your top priorities, and stick to that rubric. So when you are going through and you are actually looking at the LMSs, the one that you think you might like, you might not actually fit what you're looking for. So that would be my first. The second is make sure that you're focusing on instruction. I think that when we have a new technology initiative, we focus so hard on the technology that we don't recognize that this is really about learning. This is about a different way to learn. And it's not the future of learning. It's not, not anything like this. It's that this is learning. It's just a different way. So, making sure that it's good instruction, just like you're making sure there's good instruction in the classroom. You need good instruction online. Going to be fixed by technology. So it's, putting it online isn't going to make it better. So making sure we're focusing on that. And then the last would be that professional development is just key to buy-in. If teachers learn it and they love it, they will continue to use it. They will continue to want to learn more because they're going to want to know how it best accommodates both them and their students. So if you have embedded professional development, that's the best way to go. But if you don't, you have to provide teachers with opportunities to actually learn the product, learn how it's integrated, best practices with it, and and go through the adoption that way.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you again, Mandy, for being a guest on the show. As always, people, this is going on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I'm going to put this on the blog, pop this on LinkedIn, and this will be shared on Twitter. On the blog post, you'll be able to find out how to be able to connect with Mandy on Twitter and learn more and be able to connect and further build your personal learning network. As always, invest in you, EDU. Thank you for being a guest on the show, Mandy.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome, y'all. See y'all next time. Peace.